The ocean was a vast, unyielding mystery, and for a team of 3 seasoned divers, it held the promise of discovery and danger. Anna, Marcus, and Liam had been drawn to an uncharted underwater cave off the coast of the Azores, a site whispered about in local legends. Fishermen called it the abyss that whispers, warning of strange sounds that lure the unwary to their doom. But the trio dismissed such tales as mere superstition, eager to uncover whatever secrets the cave might hold. Descending through the cobalt waters, they reached the gaping maw of the cave. Its entrance was jagged, like the mouth of some ancient sea beast. As they ventured inside, their powerful dive lights illuminated walls encrusted with pale, undulating cords. The only sound was the steady hiss of their breathing apparatus. "Stay close," Anna's voice crackled through the comms. She was the leader, her years of diving experience making her the natural choice. "We don't know how deep this goes." The cave sloped downward sharply, and soon the sunlight faded, leaving only the stark beams of their lights to pierce the inky darkness. It was Liam who first heard it, a faint, distorted voice, barely distinguishable over the hum of his gear. "Anna?" he said, his voice tinged with confusion. "Did you say something?" "No," she replied. "Why?" "I thought I heard you," Liam muttered, shaking his head. "Never mind." Minutes later, Marcus stopped abruptly, his hand shooting up in a signal to halt. "Did you hear that?" he asked, his voice tightening. "Hear what?" Anna asked, her tone sharpened. "My name." Someone said my name. It sounded like my brother. Anna exchanged a glance with Liam, their masks hiding the unease that flickered between them. The walls of the chamber seemed to pulse, the corals writhing like living things. The voices, all their voices, merged into a cacophony, a siren song that clawed at their sanity. Liam clutched his head, his regulator slipping from his mouth as he screamed. Anna scrambled to help him, shoving the regulator back in place. "We have to leave now," she commanded, but Marcus was gone again, darting into a narrow crevice. Against her better judgment, Anna and Liam pursued him, their lights flickering as if the darkness itself was feeding on them. The crevice opened into a vast underwater void. In its center, a shimmering anomaly hung suspended, like liquid mercury caught in time. The voices emanated from it, impossibly loud yet strangely intimate, calling each diver by name, speaking in the voices they longed to hear most. Marcus swam toward it, arms outstretched. "Don't!" Anna screamed, but it was too late. The moment he touched the anomaly, he vanished, his body disintegrating into a cloud of crimson that was swiftly absorbed. Liam panicked, his breathing ragged as he tried to back away. But the anomaly's pull was growing stronger. Anna grabbed his arm, kicking hard to escape its gravitational grasp. The voices screamed in protest, a deafening roar that rattled her skull. They barely made it out, the anomaly's glow fading as the cave collapsed behind them. Bursting into open water, Anna and Liam surfaced, gasping for air. But the voices didn't stop. Even as they drifted toward their boat, the whispers followed, promising secrets, salvation, and reunion. That night, as Anna lay in her bunk, she heard her daughter's laughter again, clear as day, coming from the waves outside. She knew she would never escape the echoes of the abyss. The following days were a haze of sleepless nights and restless paranoia. Anna and Liam had returned to shore, but the experience in the cave had left an indelible mark. The whispers persisted, subtle at first, a word here, a murmur there. Anna would wake in the dead of night to the sound of her daughter calling, the voice so real that she often found herself rushing to the door of her cabin before remembering the bitter truth. Her daughter was gone. Liam, meanwhile, had grown increasingly erratic. He insisted on analyzing the footage captured by their helmet cameras, poring over every second for clues. "Look," he said one evening, pointing to a faint shimmer in the recording. "There, do you see it? It's the same anomaly." Anna squinted at the screen. The shimmering mass was barely visible, but it was there, pulsing faintly in the distance. "That's impossible," she whispered. "The cave collapsed. There's no way it could still exist." "You don't understand," Liam said, his eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. "It's not just in the cave, it's everywhere. It's alive." Anna stared at him, her stomach twisting with unease. "You need rest," she said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "We both do. Let's take a step back from all this." But Liam refused to listen. The next morning, Anna awoke to find his bunk empty and a hastily scrawled note on the table. "I have to go back," it read. "I need answers." Panic surged through her as she raced to the docks. But it was too late. Liam's boat was gone, its silhouette fading into the horizon. She could only watch, helpless, as the whispers grew louder in her ears, mocking her. Days turned into weeks, and Liam never returned. The local authorities conducted a search, but found no trace of him or his vessel. Anna, racked with guilt and grief, retreated into isolation. Yet the whispers never left her. They grew bolder, louder, until they were a constant presence, filling her mind with promises and pleas. One stormy night, as the waves lashed against the shore, Anna stood at the edge of the water, staring out into the churning abyss. The voices were deafening now, a symphony of the lost, urging her to join them. The voices were deafening now, a symphony of the lost, urging her to join them. She clutched the locket around her neck, the last remnant of her daughter, and took a trembling step forward. "Anna." The voice was her daughter's, crystal clear and filled with love. Tears streamed down Anna's face as she waded into the surf, the cold water biting at her skin. She didn't care. She only wanted to see her daughter again, to hold her one last time. As the waves closed over her head, she thought she saw a light in the distance, shimmering like liquid mercury. The whispers grew softer, almost comforting, as she swam toward it, her lungs burning and her vision blurred. Then there was nothing but darkness. The darkness did not last. Anna became aware of a faint glow, not unlike the shimmer of the anomaly. It pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat, and as her eyes adjusted, she realized she was floating in a vast, alien expanse. The water here was thicker, almost gelatinous, and the light seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere at once. The voices returned, but they were different now. They no longer spoke in the familiar tones of her daughter, or the loved ones she had lost. Instead, they were disjointed, fragmented, as if 1,000 voices were speaking at once, their words overlapping in a chaotic symphony. "Welcome," the voices intoned, a single word rising above the cacophony. Anna's heart pounded as she turned in the water, searching for the source. She saw nothing but the endless glow and the faint outlines of what appeared to be other figures. Shadowy, indistinct shapes that moved languidly through the luminous abyss. "Where am I?" Anna asked, her voice trembling. Her words seemed to dissolve into the water, but the voices responded nonetheless. "You are home," they said, the word resonating deep within her chest. "You have come to us, as all do." "Don't understand," Anna said, her voice rising in panic. "What is this place? What are you?" The figures began to draw closer, their forms becoming more defined. They were humanoid, but elongated, their limbs unnaturally thin and their faces obscured by shifting, shimmering veils of light. They moved with an eerie grace, their presence both mesmerizing and profoundly unsettling. The figures began to draw closer, their forms becoming more defined. They were humanoid, but elongated, their limbs unnaturally thin and their faces obscured by shifting, shimmering veils of light. They moved with an eerie grace, their presence both mesmerizing and profoundly unsettling. "We are the echo," the voices replied, harmonizing into a singular tone. "We are the memory of what was and the promise of what could be. You have heard us, and now you are part of us." Anna recoiled, her mind racing as she struggled to process their words. "You didn't choose this," she said, her voice breaking. "I was looking for answers. For my daughter. She is here," the voices said. For a moment, Anna thought she saw a familiar shape in the distance. A small figure with outstretched arms. It looked like her daughter, but the features were indistinct, blurred like a reflection on rippling water. "Emma," Anna whispered, reaching out instinctively. The figure tilted its head, the gesture heart-breakingly familiar, and took a step closer. But as Anna moved toward it, the surrounding figures tightened their circle. "Stay," the voices commanded, their tones soft but unyielding. "You must not disturb the balance." Anna's hand trembled as she hesitated. "If she's here, I need to be with her. I need to hold her." "You cannot hold what no longer exists," the voices replied. "She is but an echo, as are we all." Tears streamed down Anna's face as the truth crashed over her. The figures surrounding her began to dissolve, their forms merging into the pulsing light, until only the small, childlike figure remained. It lingered for a moment, its outline flickering, before it too faded into the abyss. Anna floated alone in the glowing expanse, her heart heavy with despair. The voices no longer spoke, leaving only an oppressive silence. Yet, as she drifted, she felt a strange sense of peace, as if the abyss had accepted her, embraced her. Perhaps, she thought, this was where she was meant to be all along. And as the light dimmed and the darkness closed in, Anna let herself go, becoming one with the echoes of the abyss.